Can you recall a time in your life when you won a battle simply because you were patient and lasted longer than the attack? When the pressure let up and you finally won that particular fight, were you glad that you had not thrown in the towel and quit? What battles are you facing right now that will require you to exercise patience until you win? In today's episode, we are going to look at the word patient to see why the early church leaders valued this characteristic so highly. And that is coming up next. Hi everyone, my name is Nashy Uhuru. Welcome to the Uhuru Reports. But before we go any further, if the content of this video blesses you in any way, kindly subscribe by activating the notification button, thumb it up, comment, and share it with your loved ones. And without further delay, let's get into this. The early church leaders understood that if you had patience, it was never a question of whether or not you would win a battle. It was only a matter of when you would win it. That is a true statement that is borne out in Scripture. The Greek word for patience is one of my favorite words in the New Testament. How we all need this extraordinary quality working in our lives today. The word patient comes from the Greek word hupomeno, a compound of the words hupo and meno. The word hupo means under, as to be underneath something that is very heavy. And the word menu means to stay or to abide. It describes a resolute decision to remain in one spot, to keep a position or to maintain territory that has been gained. But when the word hupo and menu are compounded, they form the word hupomeno. The new word portrays a person who is under some type of heavy load, but who refuses to stray from his position because he is committed to his task, regardless of how heavy the load, how fierce the opposition, how intense the stress, or how much weight is thrown against him. This person is inwardly resolved that he is not going to move, as he is committed to stay put and will never surrender for any reason. In the earliest years of the church, believers faced long periods of unremitting persecutions. They were confronted by a host of hostile powers that were arrayed against them. The pervading immoral culture, pagan religions, secular government, unsaved families and friends. All of these external forces put constant pressure on them to forfeit their faith and return to their old ways. But they firmly believed that if they had hupomeno, they would survive and outlast all the opposition. This is why they refer to these spiritual characteristics as the mother of all virtues. They understood that if hupomeno was operational in their lives, the question was no longer if they would overcome their battles, but rather when that victory would come. The sense of determination inherent in the word hupomeno is clearly seen when it is used in a military sense to portray soldiers who were ordered to maintain their positions, even in the face of fierce combat. Their order was to stand their ground and defend every inch of territory that had been gained. To do that, the soldiers resolved to courageously do whatever was required to fulfill the assignment, no matter how difficult the challenge. Their goal was to see that they survived every attack and held their position until they had outlasted the persistence. These soldiers had to indefinitely and defiantly stick it out until the enemy, realizing the soldiers could not be beaten, therefore decided to give up and retreat. Thus, the word hupomeno conveys the idea of being steadfast, consistent, unwavering, and unflinching. The King James Version translates the Greek word hupomeno as patient, but a more accurate rendering of this word would be endurance. A good way to translate this word hupomeno in modern tense is staying power or hanging in there power. Both of these interpretations correctly express the concept behind hupomeno because it is the attitude that hangs in there, never give up, refuse to surrender to obstacles, and turn down every opportunity to quit. If a person has hupomeno working in his life, it means he is committed to standing by his faith, his task, or a principle of truth, regardless of the price to be paid. This person possesses a steadfast, tenacious attitude that refuses to crumble or concede to defeat. Nothing can change his mind or sway his determination to maintain his position. Not external circumstances, other people's word, or any other attempt to manipulate or change his stance. Likewise, for you to survive the seemingly unremitting pressure and opposition that Satan or life itself wages against us, it is essential for you to have hupomeno, that persistent, steadfast, tenacious spirit that refuses to crumble or concede to defeat. If you possess this quality, you will not surrender in the face of pressure or capitulate to the forces that attempt to stamp you out. It may seem like you are facing the impossible, but if you refuse to budge or give an inch, the opposition will eventually move off and you will score a major victory in your fight of faith. That is it for today, my friends. Till we see again in our next episode. It is well.